In the northern reaches of our world, where ancient traditions meet modern passion, extraordinary culinary stories unfold. From the gilded halls of Imperial Russia to the pristine wilderness of Alaska, we embark on a journey through 5 remarkable destinations, where food becomes legend, and every meal tells the story of a people, a place, and a way of life that endures. Act I, St. Petersburg, the gilded taste of empire. Taking in the majestic sights of St. Petersburg, one cannot help but notice the similarities between this northern capital and a famous Italian port city. Nicknamed the Venice of the North, St. Petersburg emerges from the Baltic mists like a spectacular puzzle, dozens of individual islands connected by hundreds of bridges, showcasing the finest architectural heritage of the 17th and 19th centuries. And when it comes to culinary grandeur, this city wears its crown with pride. The Grand Hotel Europe stands as one of the world's great luxury hotels, a living monument where every marble floor, every piece of stained glass, every carefully preserved artifact speaks of its 1875 heritage, seamlessly blended with modern sophistication. Here, in the hotel's renowned billiard room, history whispers through the walls. As hotel manager Thomas Null explains, this isn't merely a game room anymore, it's where power brokers and world leaders gather in one of the city's most secure meeting spaces. But the Grand Hotel Europe offers more than diplomatic intrigue. In its legendary kitchen, master chefs craft culinary poetry, like their signature egg in egg, a delicate dance of fresh cream, pepper, salt, and chives, spooned back into pristine shells and crowned with the ocean's most precious gift, Russian caviar. For centuries, Russia's deep, cold seas have provided perfect breeding grounds for the mighty sturgeon. These ancient fish, some living over a century, produce the quality roe that, once salted and aged, becomes caviar, an international symbol of culinary excellence that draws pilgrims from across the globe to St. Petersburg. The Grand Hotel's Caviar Bar holds a unique distinction. As the largest consumer of sturgeon roe in St. Petersburg, they alone have the privilege of opening and tasting every single tin before purchase. Here, connoisseurs can sample the holy trinity of caviar. The sevruga, from the smallest, most abundant sturgeon, offering a delicate, briny sweetness. The ostra, with its distinctive nutty complexity and golden-green richness. And finally, the crown jewel, beluga caviar. From fish that may have swum these waters for decades, producing eggs of unparalleled size and bold, assertive flavor that defines luxury itself. As evening shadows dance across the Neva River, there's no finer way to conclude this imperial feast than with a taste of Russia's most beloved comfort food. Beef stroganoff, created in late 19th century Russia, a robust symphony of braised beef, caramelized onions, and sour cream. This is sustenance for crossing the vast Russian steppes during the harsh winter months, hearty, warming, and utterly satisfying. Act II, Iceland, where the ocean meets tradition. 700 miles north of Scotland, where the Arctic Ocean meets the North Atlantic, lies Iceland, a nation built on the bounty of the sea. Visit any port, and you'll witness the lifeblood of this island nation, fishing boats heavy with Atlantic cod, their hulls groaning under the weight of Iceland's liquid gold. This is the industry Iceland has fought 3 wars to protect. The Cod Wars against Britain established Iceland's sovereign right to manage fishing within 200 miles of its shores, and for good reason. In the kitchens of Hotel Odinva, Master Chef Siggy Hall practices an art form passed down through generations of Icelandic fishing families. A certified master chef with international acclaim, Hall understands that great cuisine begins with understanding your ingredients. And in Iceland, that means respecting the cod. The transformation begins with the finest sea salt, crystalline, pure, and preserving. Fresh Atlantic cod is buried in this white gold, becoming rigid as stone, capable of lasting months without refrigeration. But this is only the beginning of the alchemy. After days of patient soaking, the once rigid fish softens, rehydrates, and transforms into something extraordinary. The salt dissolves away, leaving behind concentrated essence of the ocean itself. While the signature bacalhau develops, Chef Hall presents another treasure from Iceland's pristine waters, langoustines. Frozen immediately aboard fishing vessels, these delicate crustaceans retain their sweet, oceanic perfection. Pan-fried with precision and paired with cauliflower puree, they offer a taste as pure as the glacial streams that feed these northern seas. And then, the moment of truth. The fish that was once rigid as diamond emerges as bacalhau, Iceland's crown jewel. Flaky, surprisingly mild, with a texture unlike any other fish on earth. This is why nations have gone to war. This is the soul of Icelandic cuisine, transformed through patience, tradition, and an unwavering respect for the sea's gifts. Act 3, Finland, the forest primeval. Along Finland's eastern border with Russia stretches an endless wilderness, the forest primeval. Here, towering pines rise from carpets of moss and lichen that have grown undisturbed for centuries. This is nature's pantry, where families like the Camerons have learned to read the forest's seasonal offerings. With guide Imo Cameron, we discover the forest's hidden treasures. Birch bark provides more than just kindling. Between the bark and wood lies an edible pulp, nature's energy bar that has sustained northern peoples for millennia. But the forest's most precious gift appears only briefly each summer, cloudberries. In Finland's bogs and marshy meadows, these golden jewels create a seasonal fever among locals who wait all year for this fleeting harvest. At the rustic ISO Kimkaisten Kubi resort, built by Imo's own hands, his family continues traditions that stretch back centuries. In their traditional Lapish cooking hut, the Koda, daughter Sirpa and sister Katia work alongside their mother Sirka, creating foods that embody the Finnish philosophy: simple ingredients, honest preparation, extraordinary results. Watch as Sirka crafts lipa justo, squeaky cheese, from their own cow's richest milk. Mixed with just a few drops of rennet and cooked on wooden slabs over an open fire, the cheese slowly caramelizes, developing its signature texture and sound. This is slow food in its purest form, no rushing, no shortcuts, just patience and generations of accumulated wisdom. From their backyard lake come fresh perch and tiny vendis, small fish beloved by Finns for their sweet flesh and precious roe. Grilled over open flames and seasoned simply with butter and salt, they represent Finnish cuisine at its most essential. The meal concludes with cloudberry-topped squeaky cheese, accompanied by the ritual that defines Finnish culture, the sauna. In this smoke-filled sanctuary, built without a chimney in the ancient tradition, birch switches invigorate the skin while the heat purifies both body and spirit. Here, in this steaming wooden chamber, the day's foraging and cooking finds its perfect conclusion. Act 4, Alaska, Survival and Sustenance. In the last frontier, where over 60% of Alaska remains untouched wilderness, survival depends on understanding the land's harsh gifts. 40 miles southeast of Anchorage lies Girdwood, once a gold rush outpost, now a winter sports paradise nestled in the embrace of the Chugach Mountains. Here, wilderness guide Andy Morrison practices the ancient art of living off the land. In a place where the nearest grocery store might be hundreds of miles away, knowing what the wilderness offers can mean the difference between comfort and catastrophe. The forest provides its own pharmacy and pantry. Fresh spruce tips, harvested from towering evergreens, brew into tea rich with vitamin C and antioxidants, nature's defense against scurvy and winter's harsh toll. And beneath Alaska's streams still lies the dream that built this territory, gold. The same waters that once drew prospectors from around the world still yield their precious secrets to those patient enough to pan through gravel and sand, waiting for that telltale glint of genuine treasure. When storm clouds gather and temperatures plummet, experienced outdoorsmen like Andy know the ancient secrets of survival. An igloo, constructed from compressed snow, becomes a shelter capable of preserving life in the harshest conditions. Inside this frozen sanctuary, we sample akutak, Eskimo ice cream. This traditional survival food combines animal fat, dried fish, and available berries into a calorie-dense mixture designed to fuel human bodies against the Arctic's unforgiving demands. It's not about flavor, it's about life itself. As wind howls across the tundra, there's profound comfort in a simple cup of spruce-tip tea. For centuries, native peoples have relied on this forest elixir, rich in nutrients and carrying the essence of the northern wilderness. In its piney aroma and warming embrace, we taste the very spirit of survival, adapted, enduring, and surprisingly beautiful. Act V, Montreal, Rebellion on a Plate. In the cultural crossroads of North America, where French sophistication meets North American boldness, Montreal has birthed a culinary revolution. At its rebellious heart stands Joe Beef, named after a 19th-century working-class hero, but embodying a very modern philosophy of excess, flavor, and sublime disregard for convention. Chef Fred Morin, Montreal's best-known rebel butcher, anti-establishmentarian, and keeper of culinary flames, has created more than a restaurant. Joe Beef is a statement that food should be about joy, not ideology, about taste, not trends, about bringing people together over plates of sheer, unapologetic excess. The foundation of Montreal's greatness lies in places like Marquet Atwater, year-round marketplaces where the city's multicultural soul reveals itself. Italian olive oils, Swiss cheeses, Spanish charcuterie, and French delicacies reflect Montreal's identity as a harbor city where cultures have blended and evolved for centuries. Here, cheese vendor Gil Jordan offers over 850 varieties from across Europe, including Fred's favorite, Montreal from Normandy. Its pungent aroma and complex flavors represent everything Montreal food culture celebrates: boldness, authenticity, and the willingness to embrace what others might find challenging. At Montreal's traditional butcher shops, ingredients unavailable elsewhere in North America tell the story of a city unafraid to maintain its culinary independence. Sweetbreads, kidneys, and even horse meat tartare speak to Montreal's European soul, a place where nose-to-tail eating isn't trendy, it's traditional. Twice yearly, Fred orchestrates the Butcher Blackout, a carnivorous carnival where 80 pounds of premium meat feeds 15 people in an evening of pure, rebellious indulgence. This is Montreal food philosophy distilled. If it tastes extraordinary, if it brings people together, if it creates joy and memory, then excess becomes a virtue. The evening's crown jewel, a foie gras double-down sandwich. 2 thick slabs of duck liver, battered and deep-fried, sandwiching double-smoked bacon. It's not just food, it's a manifesto against culinary timidity. Gravy, his fries swim in lobster and shellfish elixir emulsified with lardo, pure cured pork fat. It's poutine as high art, comfort food as rebellion, tradition exploded and rebuilt with uncompromising flavor. From the imperial elegance of St. Petersburg's caviar service to Montreal's rebellious culinary carnival, from Iceland's ancient fishing traditions to Finland's forest wisdom, from Alaska's survival cuisine to Quebec's fearless excess, we discover that great food tells the deepest stories. It speaks of place, the seas, forests, and lands that provide. It speaks of people, families, communities, and cultures that endure. And it speaks of something essentially human, our need to transform simple sustenance into celebration, survival into art, and meals into memories that bind us across oceans and generations. In these northern reaches, where seasons define life and tradition defines identity, every dish carries within it the accumulated wisdom of centuries. Every meal becomes a bridge, between past and present, between survival and celebration, between the land that provides and the people who transform its gifts into something approaching magic. This is more than food. This is the taste of human endurance, creativity, and joy, served one unforgettable meal at a time.